The hunter returns before dark, but he walks past the fire he once shared. A traveler from another group waits at the edge of the small winter camp. The hunter places his best strip of dried meat in the traveler's hands. Across the flames, the gatherer watches without moving toward either one. No words survive from this moment, and no expression can become a fossil. Yet the scene raises a question almost every modern viewer understands. Could Ice Age humans fear losing a partner to somebody new or distant? And if they did, could that feeling protect a family or divide a camp? Jealousy feels private, but its consequences can spread through a group. Food can be withheld, journeys delayed, and alliances quietly weakened. But calling this betrayal would place a modern story over ancient silence. The traveler may be a rival, a relative, a messenger, or simply hungry. The hunter's gift may signal desire, obligation, gratitude, or diplomacy. Even the gatherer's stillness may show caution rather than jealousy alone. Archaeology preserves actions only when those actions alter material things. Emotions vanish unless they shape bodies, objects, movement, or descendants. So our question is not whether one imagined couple experienced betrayal. It asks whether Ice Age bonds carried enough risk to make loss socially dangerous. Jealousy is not simply anger, envy, love, or ordinary social competition. It begins when a valued relationship seems threatened by another person. The threat can involve affection, sexual access, time, food, or protection. That makes jealousy a relationship defense, not merely a violent impulse. In modern humans, jealous reactions vary greatly between people and cultures. Some people seek reassurance, while others withdraw, compete, or confront. The feeling can be mild and useful, or destructive and dangerously intense. No single reaction can represent all societies, sexes, or relationships. A prehistoric community may not have separated romance from family duty. A partner could also be a co-parent, worker, protector, and travel companion. Losing that person might threaten more than affection or sexual exclusivity. It could mean less food, less childcare, and fewer allies during hardship. This is why jealousy may have carried serious consequences for survival. But an adaptive explanation does not make every jealous act beneficial. Smoke can warn of fire, yet too much smoke can also make a shelter deadly. Jealousy may work the same way: information first, damage when uncontrolled. What would threaten you more, lost affection, lost food, or lost protection? The answer may change with the costs and duties that one relationship carries. Before asking about cheating, we must define what a relationship actually was. Social monogamy means two people live or cooperate as a recognized pair. Sexual monogamy means neither partner has sexual contact outside that bond. Genetic monogamy means their children share the same two biological parents. Marital monogamy means community rules recognize only one spouse at a time. These patterns can overlap, but they are not automatically the same thing. A couple may live together while one partner also has another relationship. A parent may raise a child who is not their own biological descendant. A society may permit several spouses, yet most households remain paired. Modern human mating systems include monogamy, polygyny, and rare polyandry. Relationships can also end, reform, or continue through a serial pattern. For this reason, humans resist any single and simple biological label. Cross-cultural research finds residential pair bonds across many human societies. But pair bonding does not prove lifelong or perfect sexual exclusivity. It only shows that two people can become unusually important to each other. That importance creates something valuable enough to defend or fear losing. Ice Age evidence answers each part with a very different level of confidence. Human children remain dependent far longer than the young of most mammals. Feeding, carrying, teaching, and protecting them can exceed one person's labor. A stable partner may reduce that burden, though wider kin also remain vital. Pair bonds can coordinate food, shelter work, travel, and infant protection. They may also connect two families that were previously distant or cautious. That connection can open routes to information, materials, and emergency help. A partner may therefore represent both intimacy and an entire alliance network. Losing the bond could weaken access to people far beyond the original couple. This gives relationship threats a practical cost under Ice Age conditions. Yet pair bonding probably did not replace grandparents, siblings, or friends. Human survival depends on overlapping bonds rather than one isolated couple. That wider support can reduce dependence on a single unreliable partner. In some settings, strong paternal investment may raise the cost of infidelity. Cross-cultural data link greater paternal investment with stronger jealousy. The pattern is not universal, and culture changes how the feeling appears. Still, the basic risk is clear: effort may be redirected toward another bond. A person who invests heavily has more to lose when a partnership changes. Jealousy may track investment, uncertainty, and available alternatives. At Chagyrskaya cave, ancient DNA revealed a small Neanderthal community. Researchers identified a father and his adolescent daughter among the remains. Other sampled individuals included biological relatives of several degrees. Long homozygous DNA segments suggest the community was small and isolated. Mitochondrial diversity exceeded Y chromosome diversity within the sample. The pattern is best explained by women moving more often between communities. That movement could create partnerships and alliances across distant camps. It could also bring newcomers into relationships already shaped by local ties. But the available DNA does not identify any romantic couple inside the cave. It cannot tell whether partnerships were exclusive, temporary, or lifelong. The father-daughter relationship proves parenthood, not the parents' marriage. The daughter's mother may be missing, buried elsewhere, unsampled, or unknown. Female migration does not prove brides, coercion, romance, or jealousy. It only reveals a likely direction of movement between small communities. Still, movement creates the social conditions where partnerships can change. What would you infer from a family, a migration pattern, and no known couple? The emotion inside that network remains beyond the reach of ancient DNA. The traveler now steps closer, carrying ochre and stone from distant country. Her arrival offers information, materials, and access to another community. She may also offer a new partnership to somebody already living within the camp. The gatherer watches the hunter guide her toward the warmest place by the fire. Nothing preserved in the ground could reveal how that gesture was understood. But people constantly read posture, attention, distance, and repeated choices. A single glance means little, a repeated pattern of investment can mean far more. Who receives food when supplies are low can reveal changing priorities. Who shares shelter or travels together may matter more than a brief touch. The traveler could strengthen the camp, even while unsettling one relationship. This double effect makes every newcomer valuable and socially complicated. Small communities need outsiders for information, alliances, and partners. Complete isolation increases demographic and genetic risks across generations. Yet every new connection can rearrange existing loyalties and expectations. The gatherer may fear abandonment, reduced support, or damaged status. Or she may welcome the traveler as a relative, helper, messenger, or future ally. Would you treat this newcomer as a danger, an opportunity, or possibly both? Without words, context, and social rules, the same scene supports every answer. A major cross-cultural study examined jealousy in 11 living populations. The researchers found shared patterns, but also substantial cultural variation. Stronger paternal investment was associated with more severe jealous responses. Lower reported extramarital sex also appeared with stronger disapproval. This suggests jealousy responds to local costs rather than one fixed script. Where partnerships carry heavy investment, threats may feel more expensive. Where relationships are structured differently, reactions may also differ. The study concerns living people, not a direct window into the Paleolithic. Still, it shows that human jealousy can be both widespread and adjustable. People can protect important relationships without using confrontation alone. They may offer food, attention, affection, help, or public commitment. Researchers describe many of these actions as forms of mate retention behavior. Some strategies are positive, such as reassurance or greater investment. Other strategies involve monitoring, restriction, threats, or direct guarding. These harmful forms are not inevitable consequences of experiencing jealousy. An emotion can motivate many behaviors, including restraint and negotiation. In a small camp, public generosity might strengthen a disputed partnership. Working together may communicate commitment more reliably than ornament. Sleeping nearby may provide warmth, safety, and a visible social signal. Traveling as a pair could also mark cooperation without proving exclusivity. Shared childcare may be among the strongest repeated investments in a bond. But many caregivers can support a child, so parenthood alone proves little. Burial togetherness can suggest connection, yet its exact meaning remains open. Matching ornaments may reflect identity, status, kinship, or exchange. Even a pair of footprints cannot reveal the rules governing the walkers. Archaeologists begin with things that survived, not with stories they prefer. A hearth can reveal repeated occupation, cooking, warmth, and shared space. Animal bones can show butchery and consumption, not who loved the provider. Tools can reveal skill and movement, but not promises between partners. Burials can reveal proximity, treatment, age, sex, and biological kinship. They rarely reveal whether two adults considered each other exclusive. Ancient DNA can identify parents, children, siblings, and wider relatives. Ancient DNA can sometimes reconstruct pedigrees across several generations. But a cemetery contains only the people preserved, sampled, and sequenced. Sunghir preserves elaborate burials from more than 30,000 years ago. Ancient genomes showed limited close kinship among the sampled individuals. Their population was small, yet close parental relatedness remained uncommon. The result suggests that social connections reached beyond one residential group. People may have traveled, visited, exchanged partners, or maintained alliances. Those networks also increase opportunities to form or reform partnerships. But greater opportunity does not prove frequent betrayal or partner switching. A broad network can support stable pairs just as easily as flexible ones. It may even strengthen bonds by providing help during temporary separation. The Sunghir genomes reveal social reach, not private relationship contracts. The burials are extraordinary, but their meanings remain partly disputed. Two people buried together are not automatically lovers, spouses, or partners. Biological unrelatedness alone also does not prove any romantic attachment. Sunghir warns us that intimacy cannot be read from physical proximity alone. Its strongest lesson is that Ice Age social worlds could extend very far. And wide social worlds create both security and new relationship choices. In theory, a complete pedigree could expose unexpected biological parentage. A child might share a social household with one man but descend from another. Yet Paleolithic samples are far too incomplete for confident household audits. The necessary adults may never have been buried or preserved at the same place. Even if parentage differed, the community's rules would still be unknown. Some societies recognize multiple forms of parenthood or flexible partnerships. A genetic mismatch becomes cheating only when exclusivity was expected. Without that expectation, the same pattern may violate no rule at all. They miss desire, suspicion, reconciliation, and rejected opportunities. Even present-day paternity estimates require careful sampling and assumptions. For Ice Age populations, uncertainty grows with every missing generation. So ancient DNA may reveal biological parentage without revealing infidelity. It can expose biological structure, not the moral meaning assigned to it. Would unexpected parentage prove betrayal if the community's rules were unknown? That distinction keeps a dramatic title from becoming a false conclusion. Human relationships have never followed one arrangement in every community. Monogamous, polygynous, polyandrous, and flexible unions all exist today. Most societies also contain variation within their official marriage rules. A permitted system does not describe what every individual actually practices. Pair bonds can exist inside polygyny, with one person bonded to several partners. Serial monogamy creates powerful pair bonds that change across one lifetime. Widowhood, infertility, migration, and conflict can reshape a household. Ice Age mortality may have made permanent stability especially difficult. A new partnership could restore childcare, food sharing, and social protection. That change may be accepted, expected, contested, or carefully negotiated. We cannot assume modern wedding promises existed there in the same familiar form. Nor can we assume total sexual freedom simply because writing was absent. Small communities can enforce expectations through reputation and cooperation. A partner who breaks trust may lose help from far more than one person. But a community may value social peace more than strict sexual exclusivity. The most plausible human pattern is diversity built around recurring pair bonds. That answer is less simple than either natural faithfulness or natural cheating. A disputed partner may connect households that both sides need for survival. Quiet withdrawal could also weaken childcare, food sharing, and travel plans. This gives a small camp strong reasons to contain serious relationship conflict. But containment is not the same as fairness, consent, safety, or equal power. Age, status, skill, and kin support may shape whose interests prevail. The exact rules could differ sharply even between neighboring communities. Would you protect the couple, the individual, or the stability of the camp? Every answer carries a cost when relationships and survival are intertwined. The safest conclusion is that jealousy could be useful, costly, and controlled. Night settles as the traveler accepts the food and sits near the hearth. The gatherer finally moves, but not toward the hunter or the newcomer. She brings out pieces of ochre that match the traveler's distant valley. The traveler may be an old ally whose return was expected by several others. Or the bond between them may carry a meaning the gatherer cannot ignore. No embrace proves love, and no distance alone proves rejection or betrayal. The traveler sleeps near the elder and leaves with another group at dawn. The imagined crisis ends without violence, confession, accusation, or certainty. That restraint reflects the evidence better than a dramatic accusation. The opening question remains personal, but the answer has become social. Jealousy, if present, would have belonged to a network larger than the couple. Ice Age humans likely formed durable pair bonds, though not always in one fixed form. Those bonds could organize care, food, movement, and links between families. A threatened bond could therefore create the conditions that trigger jealousy. Ancient DNA confirms families, parentage, migration, and broad social networks. It does not recover secret affairs, private promises, or remembered emotions. So did Ice Age humans cheat on their partners? Some may have changed bonds. Some may also have pursued relationships beyond an existing partnership. But we cannot know who, how often, or whether their community called it wrong. Did they feel jealousy? The biological and social foundations were likely there. Its expression probably varied with culture, investment, scarcity, and support. Choose your answer: bond protector, camp threat, both at once, or unknowable. The fire survives because human bonds were flexible enough to survive change.